I want you to imagine this. You walk into a flat in the heart of London. The lights are still on, the television hums quietly in the background. There are unopened Christmas presents on the floor, but no sound, no movement, just stillness. And then you see her. Not alive, not freshly gone, just remains. She had been dead for 3 years. Her name was Joyce Carol Vincent. This is not a ghost story. This is about how a woman can vanish without leaving, about how the world can forget someone completely, and how it could happen to anyone, even me, even you. It was January 25, 2006. A housing association worker came to repossess the flat for unpaid rent. No one had heard from the tenant. No one had seen her. When the door was forced open, what they found was wrong. It wasn't just the smell or the silence. It was the feeling, like time had frozen in that room. The TV was still playing BBC channels. Joyce's body, or what was left of it, was curled up on the sofa. A calendar was pinned on the wall. It still showed 2003, and that was the year she died. 3 whole years, alone. I couldn't stop asking, who was she? Because Joyce wasn't what you'd expect. She wasn't someone society ignores, or so we thought. She was stunning, warm brown eyes, a gentle voice. She had once worked at Ernst & Young. She moved in elite circles. She had met Nelson Mandela. She loved music. She loved to sing. She had dreams. But even with all that, she slipped. I started digging. Joyce was born in 1965, raised in London. Her mother died when she was 11. Her father was there but not really. He didn't connect with her. She had 4 sisters, but even they drifted apart from her. Not because of fights, just life. She didn't finish school, took small jobs, tried to stand on her own. But behind that elegant exterior, she was disappearing, one smile at a time. In 2001, she quit her job. By 2002, she entered a shelter for victims of domestic abuse. She was scared, hurt, vulnerable, but she told no one. She moved into a bedsit flat in Wood Green, North London. Housing benefit covered the rent. The flat was modest, a single room, bathroom shared with neighbours. That's where she died. She never told her sisters where she was. She didn't call friends. She didn't send a forwarding address. I think of that sometimes, how easy it is to vanish, not suddenly, but slowly, deliberately, like fading out of a photograph. That image haunts me. The TV is still playing, wrapped presents under a small tree, cards never sent, groceries still in bags. What was she doing before she died? Was she wrapping gifts for someone? Was she thinking about calling someone? Was she hoping someone would knock? Or did she already know? No one would. Her body was so decomposed, they couldn't determine the exact cause of death. Asthma was a possibility, but no certainty. No struggle, no forced entry. Just silence, a peaceful passing, surrounded by a city that I never noticed. The police tried to find next of kin. Her sisters were shocked, heartbroken. They thought she had pulled away by choice. Some thought she was living abroad. Others assumed she didn't want to be found. It was like Joyce had erased herself. Even former colleagues had no idea where she went. She had resigned with no explanation. One former boyfriend said, "She was the type to disappear." That line stayed with me. The type to disappear. What makes someone that type? Is it trauma, pride, shame, or just exhaustion? No one held a funeral, no public memorial. The world moved on until a filmmaker found her story in a tiny article and decided that forgetting her wasn't an option. I started asking myself, if I vanished tomorrow, who would notice? How long would it take? A week? A month? 3 years? Joyce lived in one of the busiest cities in the world. She was young, beautiful, had a past filled with potential, and still, she slipped through the cracks. It wasn't just about her silence, it was about all of us being too loud to hear it. We scroll, we like, we double tap. But do we see? Do we really notice when someone fades out? Joyce didn't scream. She didn't beg. She just disappeared. Joyce isn't alone. Thousands of people die in isolation every year. In big cities, in tiny towns. Urban loneliness is a silent epidemic. In a world that's hyper-connected, we're more disconnected than ever. She is the elderly neighbour whose curtains haven't moved. She is the friend who stopped texting. She is the co-worker who eats lunch alone. And sometimes, she is us. We wear masks. Online, at work, at family dinners. We laugh, we post, we pretend. But beneath the surface, so many of us are just hoping to be noticed. Joyce's death should make us uncomfortable. It should rattle something inside. Because she deserved more. And so does everyone else living on the edge of invisibility. I imagine Joyce sometimes, sitting on her sofa, watching TV, wrapping presents, waiting for something to change. I imagine what she would have said if someone knocked, if someone asked, "Are you okay?" Maybe she would have smiled. Maybe she would have cried. But at least she would have been seen. Behind her smile was pain. Behind her silence was fear. Behind her door was a life no one bothered to open. This is why I tell her story. Not for the tragedy, but for the truth. We all wear masks, but some of us never get the chance to take them off. If this story moved you, comment below, "I see you, Joyce." Let's remind each other to reach out, to knock, to care. Not everyone screams when they're lost. Sometimes they just go quiet. And sometimes all it takes to save someone is noticing.